In this video, we're going to review the newest feature of Google Data Studio, the metric sliders.
Okay, so first of all, let's see a few working examples of the metric slider in action. I've enabled the metric slider feature on this bar chart. That's this little icon at the top right of the chart. Now let's say we want to filter this bar chart to only see cities with 500 to 800 sessions. Here we have sessions on the right y-axis, and we want to see the bars between 500 and 800 around here. Okay, what we need to do is to click on the metric slider and drag the ends of the slider to adjust the lower and the upper boundaries of the range of the metric. So for example, let's see, we want sessions more than 500. When we release, the chart will get updated to only show the cities with more than 500 sessions in them. Now let's set the upper boundary to 800, 900, 800. Okay, another city was removed from the left side, and we have 3 cities that match the criteria. If it's hard to set the boundaries to the exact numbers that we want, so for example here we see that it only jumps 310, 320, we cannot put it on 355 or 505. In these cases, we can just double click and type in the actual number that we want. So this is also possible. If you want to revert back the chart to the previous state, you can click clear, and that's it. We can apply metric sliders to many different chart types in Data Studio. Bar chart is just one of them. For example, we can have it on a table as well. Here we have a state, users, and the amount of revenue per user. Let's see, we want only to see a state with less than $1 revenue per user. We can click here and drag the upper boundary of revenue per user to $1. And that's it. Another chart type that we can use the metric slider on is the geomap, the geographic map. Right now, it's not possible to have metric sliders on Google Maps yet. I hope they release this feature soon. But let's see how it works on a geomap. So here we have users by city, and we can see that in the range of the cities that we are plotting on this map, we have cities with as low as 6 users and as high as more than 1,100 users, which are probably these 2 cities over here and over here. Let's say we just want to see the cities with more than 200 users during this time period. Again, we have to click on metric sliders and drag up the lower boundary of the users to, what was it? 200. And we can see that only a few cities in this time period had more than 200 users. Another example is a scatter chart. Here we have users and revenue per user state, and each user state is represented by a point and has a color. Now let's say we just want to see the states with more than, let's say, 500 users. So we want to remove all of these points from these charts, and then we only want to see again states with more than $100 in revenue. So not only we want to remove these part, but anything below the $100 revenue line as well. Let's begin. It should be easy. You already know that. So first, let's start with the users. Let me type this time 500, and that's it. You can see all of these have been removed, and now we want to remove everything less than $100 as well. If you want to clear the filters, you can do it one by one, or you can use this little icon here, which is now overlay the title of the chart, to reset all the settings on the chart. If it reset everything, not just the metric sliders. So let me click on this, and the chart will go back to normal. Apart from the chart and examples that we saw, the metric slider feature is available for other charts as well, like time series, the area chart, the pie chart, and the tree map. Now, let's see how to enable metric slider for our charts. Let's go back to edit mode. It's actually a fairly complicated process. I was just kidding. It's really easy. You just need to select your chart. So for example, this chart that I have here on page 5, which is a time series chart, I haven't enabled metric sliders right now, but what you need to do is to head over the Data Properties tab, and under Metrics, you need to switch it on. And that's it. It will switch on the metric sliders for all the metrics that are available on that chart. It's not possible to exclude one of these metrics from this metric slider menu. And as soon as you enable this, two things happen. One, you will see the icon of metric slider at the top right of your chart. And two, the option for optional metrics disappears. So as you can see, we can only have either optional metrics on our chart or metric sliders. We cannot have both of them at the same time. The only other thing that you need to make sure of when you enable the metric sliders is that the icon appears on chart headers. So you need to make sure that you go to the Style tab, and at the bottom, you need to make sure that chart header is either on Always Show or Show on Hover. If it's on Do Not Show, no one can see the icon, no one can use it. But if you have it on Always Show, it's the best one, or Show on Hover. So if they hover on the chart, they will see the option and can use it. Both of this worked. Now let's see how it looks like. I deliberately kept the time series as the last example because I wanted to show you something. Now here we have users in the range of close to 1,000 and then at the top close to 3,000. Okay, let's say we want to remove the dates in which we have less than 2,500 users. So this one will be removed. These ones over here will be removed, and maybe this one. Yeah, this one will be removed as well. Let's do that and see what happens. What we need to do is to put 2,500 here to set the upper boundary for this metric. Now, it looks kind of confusing, isn't it? So on these dates that the data point has been removed from the chart, we see that the chart goes to 0. This is misleading. The viewer might believe that these metrics were actually 0 on those days, which is not true. So how do we fix that? Let's go back to edit mode and see the options for missing data on time series. Okay, let's select the time series and go to the Style tab and see what options do we have for the situations like this. Here, under missing data, we can decide what happens to the chart, to the time series chart, when some data points are missing or they're removed by applying a metric slider or something like that. So right now, it is set to line to 0, which you saw that it was resulting in a misleading chart when a metric slider was being applied to the chart. Now let's see what other options do we have. Line breaks and linear interpolation. Let's start with linear interpolation because I want to show you that this one doesn't work either. Let's go to the view mode, set it to 2,500. What this does is actually draws a straight line from the point prior to the missing point to the point after that. So we have this point, we have this point, but we don't have 2 points in the middle. It just draws a line between them. This is also misleading because not only it looks kind of strange, but it might suggest that there are data and on this day something was happening and we had this number of users, which is not true. Let's go back to edit mode again, and this time use the final option that we have, which was what? Which was line breaks. Now, if you go back to view mode and apply the metric slider again, it correctly represents the missing data points on the chart. Where we don't have any data, we don't have any line. Okay, so to recap, you can enable metric sliders for your chart to add another layer of interactivity to your report by allowing the viewer to filter the chart by setting the lower and upper boundaries for any metric or any combination of metrics on that chart. It's easy to enable, you just need to switch it on and it appears under this icon at the top right of the chart.
That's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Now it's your time to use metric sliders to improve the interactivity of your Data Studio reports. If you're new to Measure School, make sure to subscribe so you can get notified of the future videos that we publish. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. This is Ahmed. Until next video.